Hey, Michelle Marie from Key West. We're the Weird GoPro coming to you live on the water, Lake Michigan, Chicago. It's not Key West, but it's not bad. Thanks, Al, my pal, for bringing me out. Hey, it's been a big week. It's kind of a special week. Tonight's show number 7 of Sunset with Culver and Watson. And actually this week is Watson's birthday. So a little happy birthday to Dorian Gray. You're looking fantabulous as always. We have one of his very special friends, Cindy Plume, on the show tonight. Now, Cindy's been in love with the Keys since the 90s. She moved here in, I think, about 2014. She's been very involved in the community. She loves the people, the characters, the music. She recently helped out with a huge fundraiser. But she's going to tell us a little more of a weird side of Key West. Think David Sloan, think ghosts. She's actually a psychic medium. She's going to tell us all about that. It's going to be weird, it's going to be a little wacky, and it's going to be fun. Anyway, sit back, grab a cocktail, relax, and have a little bit of fun, and keep it weird. Cheers.
Give me a Key West address. Give me a Key West address.
Well, welcome to Thursday nights with Key West, we're the Weird GoPro, and Sunset with Culver.
And Watson.
And here we are once again.
We are another year older and deeper in debt.
It's Mark's birthday. It's Mark's birthday, and he can't quite collect Social Security yet, so
Not
we're
yet.
a little concerned.
I'm in that weird age that serves no purpose.
Yes, none whatsoever.
I need all the perks of being older, but I can't get any of the perks of being younger.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in
Yeah,
limbo.
no, it's kind of like a riptide.
Yeah, it's like what are they? Purgatory. I'm in the purgatory right before you become
you're
old
in
enough
limbo.
to. I'm in limbo.
You're in a limbo.
Limbo, purgatory.
We have a great guest today, Cindy Plume, which
Yes.
we really can't wait to bring on.
She's already shocked the shit out of me, and
Yeah.
we've only, what, 2 minutes being on the air, and I'm already like convinced.
But what we
it's
want to
amazing.
talk about first of all was when Sally came through the other day.
Yes. Oh.
And it was like sheets of rain. It was a moat in front of 1800 Atlantic.
Which was there 2 days later.
It was like, I was swimming.
It's my lot in life this week that our good friend who's in the audience, you can't see her, but I swear she's
Julie
here.
Hanson?
I'm not hallucinating. Julie Hanson was coming in from Massachusetts, and she was coming in on Saturday night.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, you've already heard this story.
Well, go.
It's just too good not to tell everybody. So I have, Julie, real quick, what's your car?
It's a Honda Fit. It's a short car.
It's a Honda that's like this big. And I had her car while she was in Massachusetts for 2 weeks, going to see somebody named Tom, which I'm sure we'll all hear about a lot later. But she had let me keep her car for 2 weeks. And so the big thing was that I picked her up at the airport on Saturday night. Well, Sally decided to form over us on Saturday, and I work at the Gardens Hotel. If you're watching, hello, Gardens. And if you live, Kate, Jim, all the gang, Dave, Rhoda. But if you know Key West at all, that little block between Simonton and Duval Street floods all the time. So I show up for my shift, and I'm already walking in that much water. And I'm like, the shoes are gone. I'm drenched. I walk in, and Jim immediately looks at me and goes, "Oh, honey." He goes, "Take your clothes off." And I'm like, I don't get dinner in a movie, apparently. But okay, I'll take my clothes off.
Well, you haven't heard that in a while?
No, yeah, it's been a while.
It was
Take
quick.
your clothes off. Yeah, get right to it. No, and then housekeeping dried my clothes. But the big thing is, it's a little embarrassing. Mom, don't listen to this part. My mom watching in North Carolina. Happy birthday to me.
Go pour a drink.
Yeah, no, I celebrate. She's the one that brought me here. But anyway, so I go into housekeeping, and thankfully, which is not always the case, I had underwear. I always wear it for work.
During hurricane season, don't go commando.
No,
It's my big...
No, do not. And so I've worked, it's been eons since someone asked me to work in my underwear. But I got to do it. 2020 hashtag everything's possible. And I'm back there. I'm like, I work at 801. Sometimes, clothing is optional when you bartend.
Yeah.
I've been there, and that they couldn't get me in anything less than a t-shirt and shorts. But the boutique. The boutique hotel.
The five-star hotel.
The five-star hotel. Suddenly, I'm out there with a towel wrapped around me in the driving rain. And I'm going, it's just.
You made some tips.
I did. It was nice.
Come on.
Somebody wanted to see it. Even if I can't look at it, other people.
Yeah.
But I had to be at the airport at 9 o'clock to pick up Miss Julie. And it had not started lightning before I headed up there.
Well, that's nice.
And, but then all hell kind of broke loose, and I thought I was going to die. Like literally right here.
Why you didn't just pull in here?
Yeah, every street was underwater. It was like every light in Julie's dashboard came on. I'm in this little matchbox car headed through. I'm waiting for the water to come in, and I'm like,
to go floating away.
Yeah, Jesus and I hadn't spoken in a while, but we had a great conversation that night.
Emergency religion.
Oh my God, what did I tell you?
I'm an atheist.
Yeah,
until an emergency religion.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I swear to God, I will never do that.
I always
again.
said the difference between a man of faith and a believer and an atheist is a plunging elevator. Because you're going to call on any God that will listen at that moment. And I talked to them all. And we went down. It was like literally, I'm not making this up. South Roosevelt was like, Flipper was jumping through. And then we get to the turn onto
Did
right
you
there.
see the siren that came
Oh
by?
my God, I couldn't see shit. I could not see anything beyond, this makes it sound big if it was like one of those old Pontiac, whatever, long boat things. But no, Julie's dashboard, her hood of her car is about like that. And that's about as far as I could see. Until the lightning flashed, and I was like, God, get me to Flagler. I got to Flagler, it's underwater. God, get me to White Street. Got to White Street, it's underwater. I'm like, Truman, please God, Truman. I'm like, because Truman never floods until, it's Sally. And then there was standing water. And I'm like, I finally got back to the hotel, I got back to my apartment, and I couldn't get out of the car for 10 minutes.
You told me.
I had a MAGA.
You already had PTSD.
Oh my God! And then
over.
she got in the other night. They had. Oh yeah. Meanwhile, she's back in Miami. I'm like sitting in the airport watching all hell break loose for like 45 minutes. Come to find out, Aaron Harrelson was in that.
Yeah, of course, right?
We didn't find this out till after the fact, but we were both there, and I thought I was the only stupid person there, but there was also another.
Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron will not let me be
friends.
stupid alone. No, she was there too.
One of my favorite hurricane stories, because how many have we been through at this point?
Oh my God. I've been through, I think, 23 named storms when I counted.
26?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But during shores, one of my favorite stories is, so I had mangoes at the time, and we had the only generator on the island. So the media would finish at 11 o'clock and come down and get drunk and play poker with my guys.
Sure.
But I wouldn't allow them to do with money. They had to play with equal raw sugar, and my guys, because they're the media guys are so tired.
Yeah.
They would change the denominations, denominations, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so they were making money hand over fist, and I had to make sure that they returned the money to those guys. But there was this one guy, he said, "Can you come on at 6 o'clock in the morning?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, man. This is a free marketing.
Yeah.
It doesn't get." And so my staff said, "How many times?" They had a wall. And said, "How many times can she say mangoes?" I'm like, "It's raining mangoes." So.
Oh wait. What are we? We're very sophisticated
sorry.
here.
Yes.
Talk about. We are on the 7th show. Thank you for watching and announce guest again. Okay,
Cindy Plume.
it's a lot to cover here. We're on our 7th show. Please subscribe. Please watch. If you're watching, click a button.
It's a little red one.
It's a little red one. So click that little red button. Mom, don't do that. I'll send you the link every week.
Yeah, no,
this is our 7th show.
Yes.
Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you.
And announce our guest again. Our guest again is going to be the lovable, huggable Cindy Plume. And she's going to marvel at, well, you're going to be blown away. I already
Yes,
have
you
been.
will.
Because it was my birthday and I wanted like a medium psychic, and I got one in the form of Cindy Plume, and we already have a call. No,
We
Do
are not
not
doing any
call us.
call. Don't
Do not
email,
call us.
nothing.
Who is? Oh, what? It's Chris
No,
Webster.
No.
No, we don't want to talk to Chris.
He's in
With any luck, if he's no longer with us, Cindy will communicate with him in just a minute.
Oh, Cindy will let us know.
Cindy will let us know what all that was about. She's good. She's good at taking messages and relaying them. So and when I say that, you're going to be blown away. I already
Let
have
me
been.
finish my story.
Okay,
I'm
go ahead.
always
I didn't-
interrupting and you
Did I write that? No,
Okay,
I
seriously.
didn't. I didn't write this.
So across the street, the commentators, the commentator's there, and he's sitting underneath the awning where it's raining the most. And Hurricane George was here for like 3 days.
Oh yeah, they stalled.
So
They're
two
great that way.
guys and a girl and a big lab come out of at 6 a.m. I wonder what they were doing. And they come down.
Grooming the dog.
Grooming the dog. They were taking the dog out for a walk. They're very PETA-ish.
Yes. It's fantastic.
So they're walking by the camera guy, and the dog starts sniffing as well while he's live.
Yeah.
His crotch, and the guy's going like this, and he's trying to get rid of the dog, right? And he can't because we're live. So they go around the corner. They come back, and the girl, and we're back on live again, and they keep saying to me, "You're coming on in just a minute," and I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." So the girl comes around the corner with the two guys, rips open her shirt, and shakes. They shut the commercial immediately.
Of course.
So they go back upstairs, and they think it's hysterical. I'm crying, laughing. I'm like, "Welcome to Key West."
Exactly.
So all of a sudden, they're going to go into the apartment. The dog comes running down, and he jumps. The guy's live again, and he jumps right on the guy. The guy takes the microphone and goes, "Fuck this place," and he throws the microphone down and quit.
I remember too. We had, I think it was 2005. I'm pretty sure it was. Everybody says, "Oh my God, a hurricane's coming to Key West. We're one hurricane away from just being no more." And I'm like, "Bitch, please." 2005, we had Dennis,
You had four.
Katrina,
Yeah.
Rita,
Yeah.
and Wilma,
Yeah.
all within 3 months. And by Wilma, everybody was so. I never evacuate. You never
I
evacuate.
never evacuate.
But it's like
I'm part of the disaster action team.
I'm just part of the
and
disaster.
I'm not on the dark side either. I like actually on the.
I'm just part of the disaster. But no, but I remember by Wilma, everybody was so exhausted from evacuating.
I'm going to bed.
Nobody cared. And then that was the worst one out of all of them.
Wait. One more story. So we had the restaurant for Wilma still.
Yeah.
And so when the first surge came through, we jumped in, the truck.
Yeah.
To go pick up the essential, workers.
Yeah.
So we get to this one kid's new apartment, and it was an older, a garage, with the four windows.
Yep.
And we look in, and he has a stutter, a major stutter. And he's floating on an air mattress in his underwear. I'm taking pictures, okay? He's like, "Stop! This is so mean."
Oh, we got another.
yeah.
I swear. We have.
Okay, we got 1
Okay.
minute.
Oslin is either giving us the wrong finger or we have 1 minute. So.
She is from Turkey.
Yeah.
It means something different.
Yeah,
We're not really quite
It
sure.
could. But anywho, we have an amazing guest tonight.
Yes, we're very
Cindy
excited.
Plume. She, we're going to talk about it, but she was very instrumental with David
Yes.
getting the Robert the Doll tour
Yes.
down, which a
Yes.
friend of mine who works for Wheel of Fortune, I can't make this up, a friend of mine who works for Wheel of Fortune out in Hollywood messaged me and goes, "What's this Robert the Doll?" Because it's one of the prizes that's
Right.
on Wheel of Fortune, not making it up. So we're going to talk about a little
Yeah.
bit about that tonight as
Yes,
well.
and she had her own radio show, and we're actually outing her.
Yeah.
So she's being a great guest to us. So we're being respectful. Well, we try to be.
We'll try to be as respectful as we're capable of being. We're going to talk about who? Because we know everybody.
All right, we're going to cut to a video right now to go see Michelle. who's
In Chicago.
in Chicago, so all the expats out there and all the Chicago fans can see the
The
city
island from
light.
Chicago. Well,
And she was on a boat on a date.
She's been
again.
on a date again.
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 Okay. Yeah.
Again. She
I
dates
think
more
she just
than-
likes to rub that in.
I know, she does. And we,
You know what I
and we
mean?
love her
And
for
we
it,
love her
sort
for
of.
it. So here we go. Let's roll. No, not yet.
No, not yet. Wait, there's more. Oh, there she is.
Oh, there's Michelle.
What a gorgeous day.
Down on the corner of Angela and Duval, there are hustlers and buccaneers. The sound of music is in the air from the street side balladeers. Calypso poets pay their rent, so be generous with the oak tip jar. While up the road, millionaires buy up homes with 10 by 12 foot yards. Me, I keep things simple. I don't make a ripple. Give me a Key West address, a tattooed waitress, and a fish that's bigger than the hole in my net. A good bottle of rum, a fine Cuban cigar.
And dribble on myself.
Give me a Key West address. Give me a Key.
There she is on her date. Oh, we're back.
That's our roving reporter from Chicago. Oh, no, maybe a roving reporter from Chicago. And she's a rock
You are
star, so we really thank you. So,
It's like
and it was
little
great to see the
swigs
city
around.
line. So we'd like to introduce Mark.
Cindy Plume.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yay!
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so I'll just back it up a little bit because, like I said, yesterday was my birthday, and I called Amy and I'm like, you know, for my birthday, I love like the whole paranormal and all of the psychic and medium stuff. And so I said, can we get a psychic? And she goes, yeah, do you know one? I'm like, yeah, I do. And then I was all excited because I get Cindy, and then Cindy messages me later, and she's like, I'll trade you 3 drag queens for one spot on my show. Because that's what we do down here. It's
This
all
is
the-
barter at Key
Yeah, we
West.
barter.
yeah. And so I got her 3 drag queens, and so she agreed to come on. But then she messaged me and said that only her very close friends know of her
My
ability.
secret life.
Her secret life.
I
so
call it, yeah.
So welcome Cindy Plume, and we just outed her in front of like all 15 of you.
Yes. Yes. Well, maybe 16 by
Maybe
night time.
16, maybe 16.
So yeah, this is my first time live in Key West. Nobody knows but my friends what I do.
Yep.
So
I'm very excited.
yeah, I've read for Mark before.
Yeah.
I read for you.
Yep.
And I helped David Sloan and I helped Tim Glancy when he was still here with his ghost tours. So that's kind of the most fun for me is going out on the tours and looking at the different places that are
Yeah.
haunted and figuring out what's there and why.
Oh wow, that's just got to be
Yeah, that's
so.
insane.
Yeah, that's really cool for me. I
That
love
to me
that
would
part.
be so exciting, creepy, and scary all at the same time. I mean, because it's almost like you walk in and you don't know. Oh, the necklace.
Oh, I need to move this. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. But I would think that would be like something that would be so, like I said, excited, creepy, and just because you don't know what you're walking
I'm
into.
not afraid of any of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I go. It's like all of the time. I've been to a bunch of places. David would call me and say, what are you doing? And I'm like, why? Well, can I pick you up? And then he'll bring me to one of the places that's known to be haunted. I don't know beforehand where I'm going. And by the way, bringing up David's name, he just started a new tour.
Yep.
Yep. The
Yep.
Robert the Doll tour.
Robert the Doll.
The Robert the Doll Experience, right? And so that's really cool too.
Yeah.
I think that's very exciting. So great shout out to David Sloan. Go see it
Yeah.
at East Martello Towers.
Yeah, the East Martello.
Yeah. And don't miss it.
No.
Right. It's
Absolutely.
really good. It's really informative. dispels all of the myths that are out there.
Yeah.
Which to me was the most important part because, you know, the myths,
Sure.
once the rumors start, it goes everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Not on this
No,
side.
no, on this
Tell me
side,
it's not
Jesus.
so.
I mean,
Tell me that's not true.
when I got
Yes.
COVID, they was saying I was like running around naked licking people. It's
Yeah.
like, what is wrong with
Well,
you?
no, that was before she got COVID. So, yeah, it's totally.
It was before and after. But
Before
give me a break.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, mostly I do mediumship work. I mean, I do psychic stuff, but there's a difference. Psychic
Please
means
tell me that
you're
way.
gonna
We were talking
tell,
about-
Yeah.
you're going to tell somebody about what's to come for them.
Okay.
You know, so in their life, what's to come. Mediumship is communicating with people that have crossed over, which is why I haven't come out yet.
Yeah, do not stop her in Publix, okay? Just like,
This is
Right.
not. She's not looking for work.
No, I'm
she's
not. I don't
she's-
have a website. I
Nope,
have nothing.
she's not selling a book. She's
No,
not
no,
doing
no,
none
no,
of that
no.
stuff. No, so.
And
this is a street drag queen gift right now. before we get going.
3 drag queens, 1 show.
Exactly,
And-
with 3 drag queens, 1 show.
And thank you for that, by the way.
Oh, you're so
That
welcome.
was for Rock into Recovery,
Yes.
which,
Yes.
by the way, if you guys don't mind, I got to give
Yo,
you.
Yeah, no,
please,
no,
go
we're
right ahead.
gonna
Go
talk
right
about
ahead.
On Sunday, we're going to do a premiere for Rock into Recovery. Rock into Recovery was on the 11th, and it was to help Sister Season and United Way with funds because the people here are struggling so badly. So Sunday there'll be a premiere, and there will be additional live recordings from the festival that you didn't get to see in the festival. So
Yeah.
we only had 4 hours. So
It's like
you're
an
gonna
old
get to
school
see,
telethon kind
yeah,
of thing, remotely done.
Howard Livingston and Tony Baltimore. I mean, there's a
Great.
whole list of people that you'll get to see that you didn't get to see during the actual event. So tune in. It'll be on Conktastic Key West on Facebook.
Which is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
With Todd.
You had some really great questions. 'Cause
Yeah.
Well, I had a couple of them. So, like, when was the first time you knew you had this gift?
Well, and you know, that's kind of one of those questions because when I was a little girl,
Right?
just like a lot of people, I had issues in my childhood, and I would be given messages from Spirit
Okay.
that helped me get through some of those issues, but I didn't know it at the time.
Sure.
And teenager, I saw spirits in my home. Honestly, I was afraid.
Oh, well, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, weren't you
Yeah.
scared?
Yeah.
Initially, I was afraid. And then I went on with my life, and I had, kids, and I took care of my grandparents, and I was getting messages all the time then too, but I didn't have time, and it kind of worked backwards for me. I told you
Yes.
about this, where
I love this.
spirits would come to me and give me a message. I had no clue who they were.
Yeah.
I started calling them drive-bys because it was just a spirit that I didn't know, but my phone would ring within 24 to 48 hours, and the person that message was meant for was calling me. So spirits can do amazing things.
Right.
Wow.
And so then I would be able to tell the message to the person that called me. And so, I don't know exactly when it started. I just do it now to help people. So if people, I don't have a website, I don't charge, I don't do any of that. If people are struggling with a death or whatever, I'll
And
talk to
sometimes
them.
you do that. We'll get to that in a minute. But
Yeah. Right.
sometimes that confirmation really it can change like an entire person's
Outlook on,
outlook on life.
or how they're
Yeah,
feeling about
yeah.
them, or that kind of stuff.
Well, it's interesting because when I was a kid, talking about seeing spirits and not understanding or not really knowing what you're seeing, I remember when I was growing up, we lived in a house that was owned, or my parents took over the house, but before, my grandmother and grandfather took care of this elderly woman, and her name was Miss Sally. And she had the house, and Miss Sally had no family, so when she died, she left the house to my grandmother and my grandfather, and when my father married my mother, they moved in. Okay, cut to the chase. I lived in Miss Sally's bedroom, unbeknownst to me. My sister had the room next to me. And I remember very distinctly when I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw a woman standing at the foot of the bed. And she was talking to me. And all of a sudden, there was this burst of sparks, like a firework display. And I, being the young kid that I was, I'm like, oh my God, my mother was just standing at the foot of the bed and she's blowing up. I thought it was in my house.
Scared you.
Oh, gotcha. I was like, my mother heard me and came upstairs and said, oh, it was a nightmare, it was a nightmare, it was a nightmare. Well, flash forward like 30 years, and my parents are in Key West, and we're talking about weird stuff. And I brought up that nightmare. And my father said, oh no, that was her. Now you have to understand, my mother and my father were very religious, and for me to hear that was like, blew me away. And I'm like looking at my mother, who's just kind of sitting there, and I was like, I thought that was a nightmare. And she goes, well, I didn't know how to tell you that there is a woman that will appear at the foot of your bed every once in a while, and like, you know.
How do you tell a kid that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's
a
like
nice
it's hard
memo
enough.
of sorts.
Yeah, it's hard enough to get you to not wet the bed. Why encourage it?
Right.
And so it's like.
Now this is going to spark you.
Yeah,
So
but-
at least you have something to blame it on.
Yeah, and it's like my mom said that, like, I mean, she had seen it too. Like, Miss Sally would just appear at the foot of the bed, and the first thing that they thought to do when it happened to me was, oh, it's a nightmare, you know, you were whatever.
They're trying to console you, but you know, so often, I mean, there are very few evil things out there. I know people talk about it, it's on TV, it's not really common at all. You're talking 1 in a billion, you know, are, but generally it's just a loved one or someone that had lived in the property before that is gonna come and hang out.
Yeah.
And they're not out to harm you. You know, even if a plate drops, it's not a purposeful thing generally. It's like their energy can be so heavy, and not heavy, that's the wrong word, but their energy is so excited that it drops the plate.
Sure.
We lived in a haunted house. My husband actually lied to me. I wasn't sure whether I should slap him or hug him, because we had things flying around the house and we had all this stuff going on, and he's like, oh, he's making excuses for it. And then one day we sit down and we're drinking a glass of wine, and he tells me of all of the stories, all of the things he had experienced in the same house. I wasn't sure if I wanted to hug him or slap him. And and so I kind of feel
That's
like,
usually the way it goes. By the way.
yeah, non-believers are generally people that have not experienced anything, are afraid of the experiences that they had, so they block it out.
I was going to say, can probably block it out.
Yeah, and so not everybody believes, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So, but like, how does the timing come in? I mean, like, do you sit down and meditate, or does it just knock on your brain? And
Well, it does both. I mean, I can tell you, I've been to bars where there's an owner that died, and she keeps coming to me, and she's just harassing me, something. I can't even sit down and have a beer.
Yeah.
Because she's just at me and at me, giving me messages to the point that I feel like I have to leave.
Right.
Then she shows up at my house.
Oh.
And I'm like,
Did she take an Uber?
no. I was just so tired. I was so done. I learned to set boundaries.
Yeah.
You know, just like with people.
Sure.
You can set
How do you
boundaries
do
with
that?
spirits.
How do you do that?
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask. How do you stop a spirit?
Yeah. Like,
You have to tell them. You just have to say, no, I'm not listening. I'm not paying attention. You need to go away.
I got that lesson today in real life. By my gal's Casimir. And he
Yeah.
was like,
It was live.
yeah, we had a pep talk, and he goes, you know, you got to just learn to say exactly how you feel and let the cards fall where they may.
Right.
So.
And that's all you really have to do is,
But you must get exhausted after each message.
no, you know, I know some people say that, but I mean, because of my boundaries, I don't.
Okay.
So if I'm looking for messages like I did for you guys before I came, I'm ready for that. I'm like, okay, bring it on. But then I have to, put that boundaries hat on and say, I'm not here. Otherwise, there are spirits everywhere.
Well, I was gonna say, and
Yeah.
I'm not making light, because I mean, I'm just thinking of it like you're telling me how
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that scene in Ghost when Oda Mae is sitting there, and there's the room full of spirits, and they're all wanting to talk to, whatever, and
Right.
she's like, calls out, "Is there a so and so here?" That
Right.
kind of thing. And that's kind of what it reminds.
Well, it's like they do come, if you don't have boundaries, they can come in clumps like that. But you have to let them know, no, you have to, one at a time.
Manners transcend. It's always like,
that
yeah.
happened when I did the reading for you. I had a grouping of people.
Okay, let's talk
And-
about that, because
Let's
this
do
is
it.
like,
So-
this literally.
This is like insane.
Yeah, we were all sitting. We have the table that we all sit at beforehand, and
Okay,
I was not expecting. Yeah, go right ahead.
Go.
I was not expecting you to come in with with anything like that. So
It's your birthday month.
It's my birthday, but I just wasn't expecting it. But we were all sitting down at the table, and everybody who's here can attest to what my reaction was. So why don't you start with what it's the first one was the tall guy,
The first one was the tall guy, and I have it written down. That's what I do when I meditate. I write down everything that I get, and I just come and tell you, rather than you telling me everything and then me trying to read for you.
Yeah.
But my husband is getting that right now.
Got it.
Very cool.
This is like freaky. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
Okay,
not
so-
freaky. It was shockingly wonderful. I
Yes,
think
there
is the
you
way
go.
to put it. Shockingly wonderful.
And there was a taller man with short hair that came in at first. It was darker in color. He had a kind of a bit scruffier than a shadow beard. I could feel his energy, which is not uncommon with spirits. That was my first intuitiveness. He was very kind at heart. He was dancing around like crazy, having a lot of fun, and I was told that April was significant for him, and I was given a name, which was incorrect, but
We don't know, but what
Yeah.
were you given?
Jean or Jean, so GENERJEAN, and I put question marks next to it because it wasn't horribly clear.
What I related that to was, there was a man, a very dear friend of all of us.
Yeah.
He was my boo-boo, and his name was Jean-Claude. And he was, I said to you, he was from Montreal, Quebec. And he was the controller for, the CFO controller for La Di Da. And he also was the CFO controller for MBA. And he was tall. He had a very scruffy beard, very handsome,
Very
which
handsome.
you also brought up. And also, and it was just, I say all that to say this, when you said Jean, Jean, or Jean, Gene, his name was Jean-Claude, but we all called him Jean. So for it to come through as Jean, when you said the spelling,
Right.
that was the first thought that I had.
Well, and then with him, and I put an arrow up to remind me of that, came another man, and he was very handsome, like a movie star, like,
I said Clark Gable.
Clark Gable, yeah, that's what he looked like, almost identical, actually. And he had dark hair, generous heart, extremely generous heart. I mean, I could feel that he would have helped anybody that needed help. I mean, that's how it felt to me. And he told me that that there was a significant time right after Thanksgiving. Now, this was the only one that didn't give me a name.
Yeah. And, well, going back, you said the significance of the
After
first one, Jean.
Yeah.
The first one, Jean, the significance of April was he died April the 3rd. So that would have made sense. And then when you said the other one, my partner, Mark, who owned La Di Da, who it would not have been crazy for them to have been together because they were best friends and joined at the hip, even, to the end. And he was known as the Rhett Butler of la-di-da.
Sure.
And Rhett Butler was played by Clark Gable. And the significance that really got, I mean, everything you said about him was 100% could be said by that. The other significance was that you said after Thanksgiving. He kept saying after Thanksgiving. We always celebrated our anniversary the day after Thanksgiving because we couldn't collectively remember what our anniversary was. We just went by the first holiday that we had, and we said to no one that it wasn't known that it was ours. It was our personal anniversary, and we always had a big open house the day after Thanksgiving. And so that made all the sense in the world. And yeah, all he would have to say is that, and it wouldn't surprise me that he wouldn't say my name or say his name, because if you were to tell me that, I would know exactly who it was straight away. He's not going to make it easy and go, yeah, it's Mark and I did this. I mean, that's not him.
He's the only one that didn't.
Yeah.
But he brought with him.
This is freaky, Mom. You're just not going to believe this. I mean,
He
honestly.
brought with him a dog. It was a medium-sized dog, mostly white, but it had some brown and black on its head and its rear end that I saw. And the guy that didn't give me his own name told me the name of the dog was Harper.
This still shakes me. I'm sorry. This is like I always say is this isn't sad. This is just like like something you're not expecting. The first dog that I had when I graduated from college and was like my dog forever until we moved down here, and I tried to bring her down here, and being a predominantly white dog, she couldn't live down here because the fleas are so bad, and she was deathly allergic, so she had to go live with my mother and father, but she did come down and visit with them when they would come down. And her name was Harper, which is not a common name. Not a common name for anything, and I said that I named her after the main character, or the lead, one of the female characters in Angels in America, whose name was Harper Pitt.
But how odd that he didn't give me his name. Mark,
but he gave you,
no. but he gave me the dog's name, right?
And you know when you said sit on things, it almost came to me like he's not going to say that it's him, and it would totally be him to not say that it was him. But I can also see him saying, okay, I'm throwing the dog in too. So if you don't know who this is, then, you know, fuck off. I mean, that's basically, because it'd be like, because, I mean, he's going to, all you'd have to do, and it literally, when you said the name was Harper, I jumped. Everybody is my witness.
Everybody just sat down and was like, oh my goodness.
And I jumped out of my chair because I literally could not believe it.
Well,
It
what a
was
great
amazing.
birthday, Mark.
Yes, I know, and it's like.
But we're going to move on to the George Murphy moment.
Okay.
So if I can get something, please, from Dana, who is a rock star. This is a gift for Cindy Plume.
You are George Murphy moment.
You're an honorary.
You said you wanted an honorary conch.
You guys.
Okay, and we want to thank Mayor Heather Carruthers for this.
Monroe County
I really
Mayor.
appreciate it. Who's a county commissioner.
So this is our thank you
This is
so
our
much.
thank you for coming
Thank you
on.
guys.
And for
Thank
those of you who don't know, when you're born and raised in Key West, you are a conch. I had to explain this to Neera today.
Well, and do you know what a conch is?
Yeah, it's the shell. It's the.
Right.
That is so cool.
Yep. And if you are born and raised here, you are called a conch.
Because, and I'll tell you why. Do you know the history of this?
I am waiting on to hear.
I know, with a bated breath.
With bated breath.
If you're from Turtle Cay or Spanish Wells, from the Bahamas, they would come down here king fishing, and there were nothing but conch feds here. So when a lot of them moved here first, they called each other conchs. Are you from the Bahamas, or Bahamian, or you're conch?
Yeah.
And that's how the conchs came into force.
So
Very cool story.
Yeah, born and raised here, you are considered a conch. If you've lived here 7 years,
You're a
you're
freshwater
considered a
conch.
freshwater conch, which is like, I mean, you're still going to have to go through the proper channels to get things done.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a little less hard.
Yes,
This is
yes,
such an
arduous.
honor. Thank
But
you
yeah,
guys.
but the honorary conch means no matter where you go in life, no matter where your
Yeah,
travels
this
take
is it.
you, this is your home, and you
Yeah.
are always home in Key West.
Aw, you
Yeah.
guys, I just want to hug you so bad right now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I wanted a shout out to Michelle, our roving reporter, because she had spoken to Cindy and mentioned that she wanted this.
Yep.
So we made it happen.
Yep, we made it happen. A couple of phone calls and a trip to the
Couple phone
courthouse.
calls, yeah, and we're good.
Yep,
So
we
we're
got
so
it.
It's
happy.
so sweet. Thank you, Michelle.
And we're so happy that you guys tuned in. And again, what a great guest.
Yes, thank
And
you, Cindy.
it's Mark's birthday. If he hasn't mentioned it a few times,
no,
I'm not
no,
really sure.
It's so done.
So,
I mean, we're so
no.
done.
You
We're
get the
so
whole
done.
month. What are you
We're going to go eat some cake.
Yes.
So we would like
Cindy
to
made
thank
me a cake,
everybody.
too.
Yes, Key West, we're the Wirgo Pro. Michelle is a rock star. Hutch is a rock star. Oslam, Joe, and of course Watson.
And of course, Culver.
Happy birthday.
To you.
Okay, there's enough of that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy
Birthday, I want a cigarette. Happy
birthday
birthday
to you.
Thank you, guys. My
Thank you guys. We'll see you next Thursday. And Joe Weatherby is on next Thursday's show.
Yay. Bye, guys.
Here we go. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Give me a Key West address, a tattooed waitress, and a fish that's bigger than the hole in my net. A good bottle of rum, a fine Cuban cigar. Life will take care of the rest. Give me a Key West address. Give me a Key West address. Give me a Key West address.